Hey guys, and welcome back to the JTO channel. And this is your first match preview of the season. Woo! Let's go. First match preview of the season, and it's not an easy one. It is Chelsea versus Manchester City tomorrow, Sunday, 4:30 kickoff. It's Enzo Maresca, the student, versus his master, the man who taught him the ways, or some of the ways, of how to play football. The greatest manager of all time, Pep Guardiola, and his team, Manchester City, are coming down to the bridge tomorrow. It's master versus student, Pep versus Maresca. And do we have a good chance of beating Manchester City? I wouldn't say a Manchester City side that are vulnerable, but a Manchester City side that are not as strong as people think they are going to be, at least at the very start of this season. Now, before we do start, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe if you're obviously new. Share the video around. We're trying to get to 150 subscribers as soon as possible, so let's get to that goal. Currently on 134 as I last checked, so appreciate all the subscribers, man. Appreciate everyone watching the videos. Appreciate everyone who's been supporting me. I know I've been away for a while. I know I didn't make a video after the Euros final. I know I just made one recently. Do check that out. And yeah, man, hopefully I make a video next week about the transfers and what's happening around that, because it looks like deals are set to happen. I didn't really make one in the past couple of days because nothing was really happening like that. But now that maybe by the time this weekend's over, I think there's going to be some huge developments. So we'll then talk about that next week. All sorts to talk about. So yeah, let's get to this preview, man. Chelsea versus Manchester City. And the question I have for you guys today is, do you think this is the best time to play Manchester City? Because in my humble opinion, I actually think it's a really good time to play Manchester City. And I know people are worried about this game. I know people are fearful for this game. And I understand to an extent because our preseason wasn't the best. But I think things have gotten better. And on top of that, the defense hasn't been obviously the greatest in preseason. So that is something we have to improve on as the season goes on. I already made my thoughts on whether we're ready for the season in my last video and stuff like that. And as much as I don't think we are, as a spoiler there, I don't think Man City are either. When you look at Manchester City currently at the moment, yeah, this is not just a theme for this upcoming season, but it's been a theme for them basically ever since Pep's been there. They always start slow. They always start slow. I remember a couple years ago in the 21-22 season, if I'm not wrong, their first game was against Spurs away. They lost that game 2-0. I remember there was a lot of turmoil, you could say, around Spurs at the time with the whole Kane situation. He wanted to go to Manchester City. He was refusing to train at Tottenham, and he was refusing to attend the training sessions and stuff like that. So that was a bit of a weird situation. And Tottenham, there was the first game under Nuno Espirito Santo, and they won 2-0, I'm pretty sure. So Man City over the years have always been pretty slow to start their season. They've never got going, really, until, round the Christmas period, and then from the new year onwards, they just absolutely blitz everybody and normally win the league. So I think this is the best time to play them, just because in general they play slow. And when you look at the players that are going to be missing from this game, you're looking at Oscar Bob. Unfortunately, he's had a really bad injury that's going to keep him out for quite a long time, it looks like. So, you know, obviously big up to him. He's a talented player. I hope that doesn't ruin his development, and I hope he has a really speedy recovery, because he was looking good in preseason. He had a really good game against us, but he will be missing the game, unfortunately. We don't know if Kevin De Bruyne is going to start. He had some minutes against Man United. He's not fully sharp, but he probably will start. All of the defenders are not fully fit at the moment. So when we're talking about John Stones is going to be missing in this game. I'm pretty sure Kyle Walker is going to be missing in this game. I'm not quite sure about Ruben Diaz at the moment. I think he might miss it. I think he might not, regardless of whether he does or doesn't. He's not going to be 100% fit. The same thing you can say for Akanji. The same can be said for Ake as well. Like I said, Stones and Walker will not be playing. Rodri's definitely not going to be playing in the game as well. Apparently, he does have an injury, to be fair. Remember, he came off in the final of the Euros against Spain, and he needs a rest as well. The guy's been playing a lot of football, I can't lie. So when you look at Manchester City and their injuries and who's missing from this game, I would like to think they're going to put out a team that I think we can definitely beat tomorrow. What's to say that them playing with, say, Kovacic as a 6, who's a really good player, and I really rate him, former Chelsea player, but what's to say we can't beat a team like Man City tomorrow, considering the circumstances? When you look at us, for example, other than Reece James, who was never going to play this game anyway, regardless of whether he was fit or not, we have a fully fit squad at the moment. We have a fully fit squad. And I believe that I think the Inter game has given me massive encouragement from a tactical perspective and from a quality perspective and the way we played to think to myself, we can definitely get a good result against Manchester City tomorrow. It's not going to be an easy game. Man City are still a quality side. They still have world-class players that they're going to play. Bernardo Silva's going to play. Jack Grealish is going to play. Erling Haaland's going to play. He scored 2 against us at pre-season. Um, Kovacic is going to play. Edison's in goal still. He's been linked with a move to Saudi all summer. It looks like nothing's going to happen around that. Obviously, they've lost Julian Alvarez and they've lost Oscar Bob to injury, but it looks like they're going to replace those players soon. So Man City are still going to be a threat tomorrow. Don't get it twisted. Just because I'm saying Rodri's missing and Stones is missing and Walker's missing, De Bruyne is not fully fit. Same goes with Ake and Ruben Diaz and all these guys. They're still a quality side. And they had these guys. They didn't have any of these guys when we played them in pre-season. And we still lost 4-2 in pre-season against them. Now, don't get it twisted. It wasn't a 4-2 game. It wasn't a 4-2 game. It was more like a 2-2 game, a draw type of game. The difference in that game was we literally just gifted them 2 goals. You could argue we gifted them 4 goals, but we definitely gifted them 2 goals. And in the second half, it was a 2-2 draw. So I think there was encouraging signs there. And I think I understand the worry with our defense. I'm not going to lie, if Erling Haaland's on it tomorrow, in which I think he will be, boy, we could definitely concede at least 1 goal. And I do believe we will concede 1 goal just because Man City are quality side and we're not the best. But when we talk about us and the lineup Maresca is going to put out, let's talk about the lineup now and what we expect from tomorrow. Now, I'm going to straight away just give you the team that I think Maresca is going to play. And then I might give you tweaks of maybe what I would do. Who knows? Unless I properly agree with what Maresca is going to do. But we'll see as, the video goes on. I'm kind of freestyling at the moment here. So allow me, guys. So in terms of the team that I think Maresca is going to play tomorrow, I think it's going to be Sanchez in goal. I think you're going to see a back 4 of Cucurella, Colwill, Wesley Fofana, and Malo Gusto. I think you're going to see a midfield that consists of Lavia, Christopher Nkunku, and Enzo Fernandez. And I think you're going to see a front 3 of Cole Palmer, Mark Guehi, and Raheem Sterling. Now, the only part of this team where I'm thinking it might change is Guehi does not play. Nkunku moves from midfield, plays up front, and he plays Caicedo in the midfield. Now, the reason why I don't think that's going to happen is because Mark Guehi's looked good in pre-season, and I think based on how he's played, and I think the praise I've been giving him and the praise the fan base has been giving him and, the pressing he's been giving us and the work rate, I think he deserves to start tomorrow. I think just automatically he has earned a start tomorrow against Manchester City, and I think Maresca sees that, and I think he is going to give him a chance. I think if he starts Caicedo, then it's purely tactical. Maybe he wants to control the midfield and he puts Nkunku up front. Now, I didn't like Nkunku up front against Manchester City in pre-season, but the difference between putting him up front in that game and putting him up front in this game is, one, he's got Cole Palmer on the right-hand side, whilst in that game he had Mudryk on the right-hand side, who's not a winger at all. And in this game, he'll have Sterling on the left-hand side compared to Dewsbury Hall, who was on the left-hand side in pre-season. I think that could suit Nkunku better playing up front because now, with Nkunku, he's got a runner in Sterling who can occupy the space that he leaves when he drops deep. Because when Nkunku was dropping deep against Manchester City in the pre-season game, there was no runners. Dewsbury Hall was not making runs. Mudryk was not making runs. In this game, you could have Sterling making runs off Nkunku when he creates the space. Or a Pedro Neto. But I don't think Pedro Neto is going to play tomorrow, who I will talk about soon, and the transfer and how it's a good transfer and stuff like that. But quickly on Pedro Neto, I don't think Pedro Neto is going to start simply because he just joined the club literally 2-3 days ago. So unless his physical condition is at a high level right now, I don't see how he starts this game. I can see him coming on last 30 minutes, causing problems, especially if we need to get a goal or something. I think Palmer has to play because it's Cole Palmer. I think he's ready. He doesn't have to play the whole game because he's not fully fit. I hear that, but I think he has to start tomorrow. So it's very interesting to see the setup that he might play. The only bit I'm debating is whether he plays Nkunku up front and Caicedo plays in the midfield with Enzo and Lavia. But I don't think that will happen because I don't think Caicedo's fully fit at the moment. I don't think Caicedo's quite ready for the season. I don't think his fitness levels is at the same level as Lavia, Nkunku, Dewsbury Hall, Enzo Fernandez. Do you get what I'm saying? That's why I think he'll be on the bench tomorrow. And obviously we'll set up with I think with Palmer playing on the right hand side tomorrow and with the defense, I think you're going to have Gusto I think doing all sorts of different roles. I think Gusto and Cucurella could play, I think, two different roles at least in tomorrow's game. You're gonna have Gusto, who is gonna invert into midfield when he needs to, but I think when he needs to as well, I think he's gonna overlap and allow Palmer to be that advanced number 8, drop in as like an inverted winger, be that number 8, be a midfielder, sort of creative number 10, and that's where you really get the best out of him. So he can link up with Nkunku, link up with Mark Gu, and make an impact for us in that way. That's how you, if you want to maximize Cole Palmer, you're gonna want somebody who holds the width, so then Cole Palmer can come inside and do his thing. So I think at times you're gonna see Malo Gusto overlap, but I think at times as well you're gonna see him invert, and then with Cucurella, with Gusto inverting and overlapping, you're gonna see Cucurella basically side into the back three. He's the left centre back. Cole's your centre back, and Wesley Fofana is your right centre back. Those two at centre back will play tomorrow because, based on reports, it does look like they will be the first choice centre backs for the season, and it makes complete sense. For this system to work, we need these two to be on their A game, especially Wesley Fofana. Especially Wesley Fofana. I did say in my last video, I think it's going to maybe take a little bit of time for him to settle in because of the injuries he's got. But let me tell you something. Wesley Fofana, if he can get back to his best, then trust me, these defensive problems we'll be having will go away pretty soon because he's got the recovery pace that we need for this system to work. When you have a system like this where there's not many players back and you could deal with transitions, you need at least one player with pace. That's why Mickey van der Ven was so good last season for Spurs, despite them having their problems defensively. But that was more of a structure thing with Ange. But the reason why Mickey van der Ven was so good last season is because he bailed out Spurs so many times just because of his pace. Because Spurs commit a lot of bodies forward, they don't have many back, and when the counter-attack happens, nothing really comes from it because Mickey van der Ven is there to deal with it. That is what we need Wesley Fofana to be. We need him to be our Mickey van der Ven in terms of that blistering pace. So hopefully he's not lost that. Hopefully he still has it. And yeah, and Levi Colwill as well tomorrow. Look, I'm going to need Colwill to stop giving this aura vibe. Trying to defend like Van Dijk. I'm going to need you to be aggressive tomorrow. I'm going to need you to put in a tackle. Not be aggressive when it comes to you scrapping guys and squaring up to them and saying, yo, what are you saying? Nah. I'm going to need that aggressiveness in your defending because as much as Levi Colwill is really good on the ball, he's really talented. And for as much hype for the hype he's gotten, I think he's been underwhelming in the Chelsea shirt, Levi Colwill. And I think this is the season where you must stamp your authority and show how good of a centre-back you are defensively. Everyone knows how good you are on the ball. But you're 6'4", 6'3", you're tall, you're kind of quick. Be aggressive. Be that proper defender that we need you to be tomorrow, Levi Colwill. You're coming up against Erling Haaland. Yeah? If you be soft tomorrow and try do the aura defending like Van Dijk, you're going to get absolutely bullied, mate. So, yeah, Levi Colwill, step up tomorrow and do your thing, man. And hopefully the midfield does its thing as well. Enzo Fernandez and Lavia, control the midfield. You must control the midfield. In a midfield where there's no Rodri, you must control the midfield. You must put a foot, must stamp your authority in that game tomorrow, you two. Absolutely. In terms of Lavia, picking up the ball from the centre-backs and, picking out passes to your Enzos, to your Nkunkus, in between the lines. And then Enzo, when you get on the ball, you're my creative spark. You're my passer. You're my orchestra. You're my creative man, Nkunku's there for the one-touch link-up play, but you're there for the long range of passing to split the defense wide open, with your intelligence. So we're going to need that tomorrow. We're going to need everyone to give a big effort in. We're going to need Sterling against his former club to do his thing and, hunt them again like he did last season. He scored in both games that we played against Manchester City. We already know what Palmer's on about. Hopefully Gu, with his pressing, with his work rate, can win us the ball high up the pitch. Our press must be on point as well. There's so many things that have to be on point tomorrow for us to win this game. Despite Man City not being at their strongest at the moment, we still have to be near perfect to beat Manchester City tomorrow because at the end of the day, they are the champions. They're the best team in the league. One of the best teams in Europe, probably the best team in Europe alongside Real Madrid. So we must be on our A game tomorrow. Everybody from defense to attack has to be on it. And Sanchez, no bozo moments tomorrow, please. For the love of Christ, please, no bozo moments tomorrow. So, yeah, that's the lineup that I think he'll play. The only change that I can see happening potentially is Gu not playing. Christopher Nkunku plays up front and Caicedo plays in midfield alongside Lavia and Enzo. But I am pretty sure 10 of these 11 players that I've mentioned will play. Sanchez, I think, will be the goalkeeper tomorrow because he played against Inter, so I think he'll at least start the season. He's got Premier League experience. Jorgensen may need just a little bit more time, and who knows, if he proves to be good enough, he might take Sanchez's place as the season goes on. But for now, Sanchez will play. The first two centre backs, Colwell and Fofana, they're first choice centre backs. Cucurella left back, he has to play. We all know Chilwell's finished, and Viega's the backup. Maresca said publicly, Chilwell, it's time to go. Reece James currently can't play. He's injured. He's suspended. So Gusto's the right back. So the back four and the goalkeeper, set in stone. Unless there's any late injuries, that is set in stone. The midfield, Lavia has to play. He's been one of our best players. He's in good form. He's got momentum. He has to play. Enzo Fernandez, he has to play because I think he's fitter than Caicedo. I think he's more ready than Caicedo. And I think he's very important to what Maresca wants to do in the system. And on top of that, he's going to be one of our vice captains now. So he's very likely to wear the armband tomorrow. So he has to play tomorrow as well. Nkunku has to play because, come on, it's Nkunku. He's had a good preseason. Palmer's our best player. He has to play. Sterling, I'm putting him out there because it's Manchester City. And I think he's likely to cause more damage to them than Mudryk is at the moment. And then Gu has to play just on merit and the fact that he's had a good preseason. So, yeah, that's my lineup, guys. That's my preview done. When it comes to the scoreline tomorrow, I think we're going to concede. I think we are going to concede. I think it's going to be a close game of football. I'm going to go with a 2-1 Chelsea win. I'm optimistic. I'm confident. I believe we've learned from some of our mistakes. And if we don't do anything silly tomorrow, like we did in the preseason game, give the ball away to them and allow Haaland to punish us, then yeah, I believe we've got this in the bag and it'll be a tight 2-1 game. I'm just hoping Man City start off slow. They didn't look quite great against Manchester United, which is not a surprise, but they still won the game, didn't they? The Community Shield. So yeah, let's see what happens tomorrow, guys. That's it for your preview. If you did enjoy this video, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell me your thoughts down below. Tell me what lineup you would play. Tell me which players you would play. Tell me how you think it's gonna go, and tell me your score predictions down below. So yeah, hopefully Chelsea win tomorrow. The Premier League is back. We've seen some football today. As I'm recording this video, it's the second half of the 3 p.m. kickoffs today. Liverpool played earlier today. They looked good in the second half against Ipswich, to be fair to them. 1-2-0, I think it was. They didn't look good in the first half. Man United played yesterday, and they looked absolutely terrible. If there's one thing we learned about Man United yesterday, they are still crap. And I'm pretty sure we're going to finish above them this season. So, yeah, we'll worry about that when we need to. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow for the match review. Peace.